Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of My Bike. And we're here with Jackie today. Thanks for making some time.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We're gonna talk all things motorcycles today. So, off the top, for those who may not know who you are, why don't you share a little bit about yourself? How long you been in Idaho? Anything interesting you want to share?
Yeah, I was not born here, but essentially raised here. 18 years, went to high school at Meridian, moved away for college and kind of traveled the country for more than a decade, and then ended up moving back here to settle in and plant some roots about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And motorcycling is one of my newest passions, but I like to stand-up paddleboard in the summer on the river, and I have a 3-year-old lab mix that I'm obsessed with. So
A child.
if you know anything about me, you know that I have a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did meet your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, which she is very nice.
She's a cutie.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Well, I love to jump just right in off the top. I want to know how you got into motorcycles, so tell me that.
Yeah. I have been around or exposed to motorcycles pretty much all my life. Everybody in my family, siblings, parents have rode at some point. I think even in high school, I took my older sister's dirt bike around the block, and that was before I knew how to do clutch and brake. So I really almost wrecked right into the tailgate of her truck.
Nice.
And that kind of scared me off for a while.
Okay.
But settling into adulthood and midlife, a few years ago, I just was searching for something, either internally or externally, to help me kind of latch on to who I wanted to be and how I wanted to identify and relate to the world. It felt like a lot of my identity was tied up in like what I do for work or my relationships with people. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted it to look like, going forward for the next 30 years, but knew what I didn't want it to be. So came across a listing for this motorcycle, and it just felt like the stars aligned. Everything fell into place. It was the right time, the right price, and something just like resonated within me. So impulse purchase, pulled the trigger. I couldn't even test ride it. I had to have my brother-in-law come take it for a spin and then eventually bring it home and park it for me. Signed up for the Learn to Ride class at Harley like the next day. And by the end of the month, I had my endorsement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What was it like getting on the bike or in the endorsement class? What was it like getting on the bike for the first time? Do you remember kind of the thoughts that were going through your head?
I was surprised at how different they felt, because they have a smaller bike that they use for that class, but was grateful that I had not started on a sport bike and could touch the ground. And yeah, it was thrilling and scary and exciting. It was cool to be there with so many other beginners of like all ages. I think there was somebody like 17-year-old in the class that had to have a permission slip from their parent. And then there was like a retired couple that both brought their own bikes and were getting ready to just retire and live on the road. So That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm curious why you chose this bike, because there's a lot of different motorcycles out there. Was there a specific reason why you chose Harley-Davidson?
To me, this is like the embodiment of motorcycles. I feel like this is the epitome of, when I think of a motorcycle, this is what comes to mind. Just kind of that classic cruiser style. And then obviously the bright blue was really eye-catching.
Yeah.
I got it, like I said, off Marketplace from this couple that had just upgraded their bikes. And the previous owner was about my height. So that also played into it, that it fits me really well. It's very manageable and maneuverable for me.
Yeah. What year and model is it?
This is a 2011 Harley 883 Sportster.
Sportster.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, it's in really good shape. How do you know how many miles are on it?
About 9,000.
Yeah, it looks like it's really low miles and been taken care of really
Yeah.
well.
The previous owner had nicknamed it her blueberry. And so I have renamed it Shrewberry Blue, which
Shrewberry
if you're a
Blue.
fan of The Office is like a reference to Dwight Schrute, but yeah.
Yeah, all the beats.
She definitely loved on it and took good care of it.
Yeah, it's great. How long have you owned it now?
Coming up on a year.
Coming up on a year, so still relatively fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Learning my way around riding and building skills, and also just how to maintain this type of vehicle. Lots of new things, and a year is not enough time to learn it all.
Yeah. Have you done any significant trips yet on this bike?
For me, it's really just been, little trips around town. I like to go for a spin, like on my lunch break or a morning ride on the weekend. I've done a couple longer rides with my dad and with some friends, but so far, just getting comfortable and learning about responsible riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been something that's been challenging for you as a female rider with motorcycling that you didn't anticipate when you got into riding?
I think feeling like there wasn't a well-established community of female riders in the area. I had seen, Facebook groups, Instagram groups of other areas that had really well-established like female groups and collectives, that I wanted to be a part of that, but didn't know even where to start or where to look. So that was surprising, but also kind of been rewarding. And like, if you are on a scavenger hunt, finally coming to like the next prize. So just been cool.
Yeah. That's a great segue into your sweater that you're wearing.
Yeah.
Because it has a particular logo. And we just did a podcast with Christiane.
Yeah.
With 208 Moto Mavens, which
Yeah.
you're obviously a part of.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to share from your perspective why you joined the group, what do you love about the group, and kind of what's the group's vision, and what do you guys see happening in the Valley for female riders?
Yeah. So, like I said, I wasn't able to easily identify a group for female riders in the area. Christiane has been very proactive in like reaching out, setting up meetings and like calls and like generating interest. So she's definitely like our spokesperson and our promoter. And I think one thing that ties us together or helps us mesh really well is that desire for like a community, for a sisterhood, to really feel like these women are our kin and we want to spend time with them, not just on the road, but in other activities as well, and grow our network.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And how long have you been a part of Moto Mavens?
Since its inception,
Okay.
which has only been like truly a month
A month.
or so. Yeah.
But you're an OG.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think it's really going to blossom here in the next few months as we go into the warmer riding season, and we finally got some advertisements out there and recruiting. Looking forward to meeting other women who love to ride or want to learn to ride. The coolest thing about this group, I think, is that we all come from different circumstances, whether different ages, different states, we ride different bikes, but it's coming together and, creating this community, sharing this passion without feeling like you need to conform or fit inside some box, which I feel like in other communities, you kind of do have to like fit in. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you have a favorite aspect of this Sportster that you like the most?
For me, as a new rider, what I really enjoy and like about it is that it doesn't have a ton of distractions. It's pretty stripped down, and it allows me to focus on building my skills and getting more comfortable on it without having to worry about the cup holder and the stereo and all that stuff.
Yeah. But we were talking about all roads eventually lead to a bagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, next year.
Yeah.
Let's give it a little time. I'll start saving right now.
Yeah. Start saving right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any like goals in terms of like future trips, or like, man, if I can do this trip, this is a goal I want to get in terms of my skill in riding and stuff like that? Do you have anything in mind for that?
This is really definitely like a dream ride or a bucket list. And I don't know all of the interim steps to get there, but I went on a solo trip to New Zealand a couple years ago, and the landscape is beautiful, it's breathtaking, and there's a lot of curves and a lot of hills, and I saw a lot of sport bikes and adventure bikes just like zipping around. I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to get there. I don't know what the steps are, but that would be so cool to me to just go back to New Zealand, travel around North Island, South Island on a motorcycle, and just rip it up.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so awesome. I've always wanted to go to the Isle of Man race and go check that out. I think that would be so rad. Unless somebody died, then that would be really sad. But I think that'd be so cool to check that stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you're fresh in being only a year. Do you have like a significant moment so far on a motorcycle for you that kind of like, man, I'll always remember this, moment?
Since it's still pretty fresh in my memory, probably the time that I pulled out onto the street and out of the neighborhood for the first time and feeling like, you better get up to speed real quick.
Oh, yeah.
That definitely made an impression on me. But I think all the other kind of quiet moments, it's just me and the motorcycle and the road. And I feel like it's helped to settle my mind a lot and build that identity that I've been kind of searching for the past few years. It just feels really empowering, and I feel a lot of confidence and strength when I'm riding this bike. I feel like a badass. So just getting to the opportunity to do that, whenever I want, and take the bike out and just live in that feeling for a little while.
That's so good. I love that. Do you listen to tunes when you're riding? Yeah. What's like your jam when you're riding?
Christiane and I actually have like a Spotify playlist, but it's mostly like Doja Cat and Machine Gun Kelly. It's like ridiculous music. Yeah.
That's so awesome. I love that. So what is motorcycle culture, what do you love about it? What does it mean to you?
Still getting my toes wet. What I've come to understand is that it's really inclusive, more inclusive than I thought it would be, especially as a woman. Like, I feel like I can hold space in this community and in this culture. So that's really cool. I also feel like, there's not that need to conform, which was also surprising. I used to have a Jeep Wrangler, and so there's parallels, right? Like there's the Jeep Wave, and there's like this whole community of other Wrangler drivers, but it felt like very much everybody had to do the same thing, and if you weren't out rock crawling, then you're like a poser or whatever. So motorcycle culture has been more inclusive than I thought it would be, more accepting. And everybody's just stoked for me to be here. When I tell other riders that I have a motorcycle, they're like, oh my gosh, tell me about it. What do you have? How long you been riding? And they're always quick to offer advice or tips or feedback. So it's really a really cool community to be a part of. And hopefully with 208 Moto Mavens continue to grow in that space with other women.
Yeah, that's so cool. And there's a growing number of women riding, especially here in the valley. It's really cool to see. You know, there's just a lot of women that are. My neighbor, she just got like a BMW and took the riding course at Harley, and she's so stoked on it. You know,
Yeah.
she just, I'm so excited to ride and learn, and you know, even working on the bikes.
Yeah.
You know, like learning how to change the oil and stuff like that. There's
Yeah.
just like a lot. There's this growing number of women
Yeah.
in this community that are taking up arms in that. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's exciting is to kind of be like on the forefront of that in this area and be able to like anticipate that demand and fill those needs or wants for our group. Like we've got shop nights coming up where somebody's going to show us how to wrench on our own bike and like change the oil or replace the lights or whatever we want to do. Yeah, it's really exciting to see the growth, especially in the female sector, and then to kind of like lead the way for the Boise area. Yeah.
That's so
It's exciting.
awesome. Yeah. Now I know this bike is kind of like your starter bike, right?
Okay, yeah.
You're not going to keep it forever, I'm assuming, or maybe. Wow, the face. Okay, maybe you are going to keep it forever.
I am at odds with myself. I look at this and I write it and I think I could never part ways with this. This is like my starter, my baby, and it's got still pretty low miles and it's in really good shape, but maybe getting an additional motorcycle.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Or upgraded.
Is there an additional, sorry, didn't mean to replace, additional motorcycle in the future? And what does that bike look like for you?
I think the next bike will be something closer to a sport bike, just so I can keep up with the other sport bike riders in my group and kind of get comfortable on all the different variations of motorcycles. It would be cool to be able to hop on anything and just go without having to, you know, hit that learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think a sport bike. I don't know even like what make or model, but I've been back on Marketplace daily just to see what's out there and who's dropping their prices. So
we joke, some buddies and I, we always joke about Marketplace is the new dating app for motorcycle riders, because you meet so many people on Marketplace. You know, they're selling parts and it's like, oh dude.
Yes.
You know, and you become best friends, and it's Marketplace dating for motorcyclists.
Yes. Yes. You've already got like an in with this person because you know exactly what their style is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to a female similar to your story who is looking at maybe gonna get a bike, take the rider's course, you know? What advice would you give to another female like that?
You'll never know if you never try. I think that moment when you just make the decision, go get the bike, go sign up for the class, whatever you do, like commit to it, and don't sell yourself short of the opportunity to learn something new and to build confidence and to potentially meet other people who are in your same time of life or space and get to connect with others who might be able to buoy you up and help to foster those, I don't know, soul searching and reflective moments in your life.
Yeah, yeah. You're such a deep, you're like a deep soul. You're just like, yeah, you just think about things. Really, it's good.
That's really all to say that this was completely a midlife crisis. This is an impulse purchase during a midlife crisis, and now we're going back and like assigning rationale to it in retrospect. Absolutely.
I love that. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My dad, definitely. He went and got a motorcycle after I got this one so that we could ride together.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he still leads me in the dust, but it was a nice thought. My parents have been super supportive, and everybody in 208 Moto Mavens for sure, like looking forward to a bunch of rides and activities this summer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It's awesome. All right, Jackie, that's all I got. Unless you got
Cool.
anything else you want to say or add to. Deep thought or quote for today.
I did have a thought. So you'll have to kind of bear with me on this line of
Okay.
thinking.
Okay.
But research suggests that doing things like navigating without the aid of a GPS or map helps to fight like cognitive decline in your later years.
Really?
So one cool thing about not having a huge display or like a phone mount is that I am forced to memorize my route ahead of time and adapt if there's like road closures. So I know many people feel that motorcycles are unsafe, but they could be good for your brain. This could be a very healthy activity for you if you're concerned about cognitive decline.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, come back for more justifications
Yeah,
on why
yeah.
you should be riding motorcycle.
Yeah, we
find
need
one.
as many justifications as possible.
Yeah,
'Cause-
if you're looking to convince somebody, like
Yeah.
a parent or a spouse or whatever, like
Yeah.
I'll help you out.
I'm gonna log that one right now. This is gonna help me with my cognitive thought and remembering things as I get older.
Absolutely.
You know, so you don't mount your phone or anything. You just you pre-plan your route. That's pretty epic.
Also, if you see me like in your neighborhood putting around, I'm lost for sure. Like well intended, but I probably need directions.
You probably need directions. So just wave you down.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like, are you?
are you lost? Are you good?
Yeah. Yep.
I love that. Jackie, you've been a pleasure. Thank you so much for making time and
Absolutely.
yeah, sharing your story with bike. And I know more is on its way.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see you grow and expand in all things in life and motorcycles, and keep it up.
Yep.
Because you're rocking it. So,
Thank you.
okay,
Appreciate it.
that's it for this episode. Peace out, everybody. Good job.
Thanks.